treasure.
So having kids is amazing, and I totally love it. I wouldn't have any other job. It's my favorite. However, there are so many memes out there that I did not appreciate until I was a mom, because it's pretty crazy and hectic. Like the ones where when you try to do laundry with children, at least small children, and it's basically like a tornado is going right behind you as you fold the clothes, and I'll turn around and I'm like, oh, look, there's the last hour I just tried to do. Or like trying to wash dishes. Edwin will come up and he's like, I want to help you. I'm like, okay, come on up here. And he gets his stool and he comes up, and the next thing I know, I'm like at a water park and I'm covered in water, and so is my counter and floor. Or he'll go onto the dishwasher and he wants to like help unload it or load it. I usually have him unload it because it's the clean dishes. So then randomly he'll go up and he'll be like pulling them out, and then he's like licking it. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm eating this. And I was like, that's a dirty oh my gosh, that's a gross fort. Put it back. And then he continues to just lick it until I rip it out of his hand. Or what are the other things that oh, my favorite is when you try to make a phone call. And nowadays, everything is, a recorded audio baloney crap thing that you gotta like, oh, say yes or no and blah, blah, blah. Well, I got 2 kids in the back seat that are yelling and pulling each other's hair or throwing water at each other. And the next thing they're like, did you say this? I'm like, no, operator. Or I'm like just slamming 0 trying to get to a person, because anytime I say anything like, what's your Kaiser number? Or what's your like, what department are you looking for? And I'm like, oh my gosh, just give me a person, because seriously, my children trigger every single not even 5 seconds. It's like every second. Like I can't even get in like a 1. It's like, what's your number? What did you say? No, I did not. Nope, that's my child. Just ignore them. Just okay. Nope. Okay. Yeah, that's my favorite. It's trying to make a phone call doing that. Or when you're like trying to make a phone call and you're actually talking to a person, and then your child decides to like scream bloody murder in the back because, they stubbed their toe where their sister looked at them the wrong way. And then they're screaming. They're like, she looked at me. And I'm like, oh no, I'm on the phone. And they're just freaking out. And they're like, and then on the phone, I'm like, I'm really sorry, but they're kids. They're going to do that. And they're like, usually they're okay and they're chill and they're like, it's okay. I've got kids too. Or sometimes they're like, it's fine. And I'm like, you don't have kids. I can tell. Because most people who have kids are going to get it. But, what else do they do? Trying to play a game with the kids. I've been trying to teach Mercedes how to play some board games and stuff, because we love to play games. And she's much better at it now that she's 5. But before, like, even, and because Edwin's only 2 now, is we'll play and I'm like, okay, you rolled a 5, let's count. And like, he can count, but he's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's like now at the end, and he won. Okay, that was really 5 squares right there. So, I don't know. And then Mercedes now, she gets frustrated with him and she's like, that's not 5. And I'm like, dude, don't even worry. You did the same crap. Okay. And I just ignored it then too. So that's always fun. Or when you play, blah, 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 when you try to play Operation with him, and then you're like, okay, oh, I got the wishbone. And then Edward's like, zzz, zzz, zzz. I'm like, okay, I get it. It makes a fun noise. I get it. Okay. Can you try to get the tiny thing inside of it now? So, yeah, that's fun. What else do we do? Oh, when you're driving with the kid, I got my little notes down here. That's what I'm doing. Driving with my kids is always a fun time too. They're always like, oh, I'm thirsty. Okay, well, here's your water. Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that. Oh, I dropped my ball. Oh, I dropped my toy. I'm like, oh my gosh. And when you're driving with kids, you never realize how far back you can move your arm and twist it until you have children in the back seat and you got to reach for crap. Yeah, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know my arm just grew 5 inches that way. Or you're like, oh, I didn't know I could like reach behind my back all the way to the other side and to the back of the car. Like, it's crazy. You never realize. And then, oh, I always love the bumper sticker things that on the back say, I'm not drunk, I just have children. Because I totally need one of those. Because that's totally what I'm doing all the time. We don't drink. So it's funny to me. Because I'm like, anyways. So that's always fun. And then if you're trying to make a phone call on the Bluetooth in the car while having children in the back seat and reaching for crap, oh yeah, that's a lot of fun. Those are good times. But those are the times to treasure.